down to Maenporth again today from Swampole. Just finished my run, and what I'm going to do is take a run down to Bremen Cove, which is another hill. So I'm going to try and record as much of this as I can, and yeah, share it with you. One thing is that the paths between here, Bremen Cove and Rosemullion Head, aren't actually as well maintained as the ones between Swampole and Maenporth. I think that's because Swampole and Maenporth are two of Falmouth's beaches, so they get the Falmouth care, whereas we're now in a different area, and they don't get quite as much cutting back, and it can get quite overgrown. And this is a bit of a dichotomy, because people don't run here because it's overgrown, but if more people ran here it wouldn't be as overgrown. And you'll see what I mean in a minute as we go across the top. So just a quick view. So coming out of the mouth of the cove and just working our way up the hill before we dip down into the next area. And after this, some of the hills get quite steep, so there's going to be a fair bit of walking. But that's okay in trail running. that's surprisingly well kept this year. Previous years, it's been an absolute battle to get through there. Grass wrapping around your legs, all sorts of stuff. Which brings me to a little point that's important to raise, is that if you do go running and you're brushing up against vegetation, I mean, I'm in Cornwall, but most areas in the south of the country at least, but if you do go running and have that brushing up against the vegetation, you must check yourself for ticks after the run. We're getting a higher incidence of tick bites leading to Lyme disease in the UK. It's a horrible disease that attacks all the organs. So it's worth keeping that in mind, but don't let it spoil your running. Oh, I love this little bit. Just a dip down into a hobbit gully. It's about to get really steep. Yeah, here we go. So these are steps coming up. That's how steep we're talking here. And I'm going to walk. This is going to be hard enough to get up these rather large steps. Oy. In fact, this is taking more effort than running up a hill. Oh, that burns. So with trail running, it's about making it to the end. You shouldn't be worried about your pace or whether you're walking or running. It's very much about the journey and taking time to stop and have a look at stuff like this. So that's Rosemullion Head there at the point. I think we might make that today. Oh, please excuse the sniffles. Running outside plus hay fever makes for a weird soundtrack. Oh. I wonder if he ran up the steps. The other thing about trail running is because you can walk and because you can run and because it's about the journey, not breaking any records or anything, it's open to everybody. Even if you only run for 2 or 3 minutes and walk the rest, it really is about getting out there, seeing how wonderful the area where you live is, and then going and exploring other places. And throwing a bit of running, just add some fitness. Right, talking of which, let's say this, running with one arm and holding the camera with the other is pretty weird. But changing hands every now and then will really help. Oh. So this is my slow run for the week, or long run. Part of the training that I'm doing, aside from building up the leg muscles and the endurance and my core, part of it is simply about just being out there running. So rather than thinking of your long run as a punishment, slow down, run, walk, whatever, and just take it as a treat. And well, get out on the trails. What I found is that pounding the streets, as it were, takes quite a bit out of you. Now, trail running, obviously you're putting more effort into your legs, but it spreads over the muscles a bit more because your feet are accommodating the terrain. You're changing step tempo, whether you're going downhill, uphill, or technical sections. So it's kind of a refresher. And to be honest, it's the long runs I do this for. So I'm quite surprised that I've gone from running 10k on the streets. Well, I say running, I mean walking, of course, or more steps. And that's I'm actually getting a better pace and a better rhythm and a nicer run out on the trails. Part of that is a reduced impact on my bone structure and muscles. Wow, we've done a nice job of these steps. This was in ruins last time I was down here. Yeah, part of that is because of the reduced impact on the body, but part of it is it's just so much nicer. Of course, if you like streets and you'd rather stay out of town, that's absolutely fine too. But try building in one of these, shall we call them, long runs into your routine, sorry. And you'll reap the rewards of it. So, here we are at Bream Cove. That's the Meuden Hotel. Well, now they call it Hotel Meuden. I guess they think they're French now. But that's the Meuden Hotel. And this actually is technically their private beach, I believe. I could be wrong. It's certainly their slipway. Now, the tide's in today, which is going to make it a little tricky to actually explore the cove. But it's a gorgeous place and not many people come here. Basically because not many people like to go more than a few hundred feet away from their car. But yeah, I'll give you a scan of the cove. Got some lovely waves coming today. So, the buildings in the background, you can see Pendennis Castle, and with the crane that's Falmouth. And then as you come around the point, we've got a boat going in towards Maenporth Cove. And then we've got these lovely rocks here, all the way along. And yeah, it's an absolutely beautiful spot. Great for rock pooling, great for the kids to come to. I wouldn't want to go in the water when the waves are big though, because there's some quite nasty rips here. So I've done pretty well. And I'm quite surprised I've got this far, and I still feel I've got some energy. So I'm going to carry on running, walking, trail running, whatever you want to call it, and take you down to Rosemullion Head at the mouth of the River Helford. So yep, there's more hills. Rosemullion Head is uphill, but we'll just see how it goes. A nice gentle jog again. Not trying to break any records, just just trying to enjoy the day. Right, we're now in Nad Sid Wildwood Nature Reserve, part of the National Trust. All the way along here, sort of every half a mile or so, there are escape routes. One second. There are escape routes that take you back up to the road. So if you get to the point where you've had enough, always have your planned escape routes. There's a nice little hut up there just for sitting and enjoying the view. Now, if I remember rightly, I take this one here. There's another escape route, like I mentioned. And we're coming down the hill now. That's rubbly. Okay, that's some walking, I think. So this is about making it. Not necessarily the running or the pace. Now we've got buzzards. The buzzards are out playing again. Thank you. Let's have a look round. So those houses on top of the hill, the white houses, that's the village of Maenporth, and then Maenporth Cove just down to the right. And that's the trail between Swamppool and Maenporth. That dips into Swamppool, and there you have Falmouth. You might just be able to make out the castle at Pendennis Point, which is the mouth to Carrick Roads, and then the other side of there you have St Maur's, what we call Fraggle Rock Lighthouse, because in the UK that was the lighthouse they used to introduce Fraggle Rock, and then the rest of that is the Rosemullion Peninsula. As we come down, we're actually on a headland. This is the Rosemullion headland, and you'll see in a minute that this is the mouth to the River Helford, which basically separates almost Cornwall from the rest of, the Lizard from the rest of Cornwall. As we round here, that's the English Channel there. We're just coming down, and the furthest outcrop there you can see a few little rocks. Beyond that is the Lizard, and the other side of the Lizard is the Atlantic, next stop United States. And now this is the mouth of the River Helford, with the Helford coming in from the right hand side. So if I continue running down this trail, the coast path, that'll take me down to Durgan and onwards up to the creeks and source of the Helford. So that's my run out for today. I've done my training from Swamppool to Maenporth. I've done my additional long run to take me down to Rosemullion. And what I'm going to do now is try and eke past these cows and head on back to Maenporth and Swamppool, probably with a lot more walking. But yeah, definitely a good step today. Definitely making a lot of progress. Felt really good. And I don't think these cows are going to give us any interviews.